And of course, I want to say good morning, St. Lucia. Good morning, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean. You inside. It's just about 11 o'clock, and of course, we are back at it again. It's man versus woman.
And I have all I need. Yes, good morning.
Let me hear you sing that song.
I don't know that song.
So what are you singing, though?
I was just singing anything.
Anything. So you're one of those people who don't know a song and will just keep singing, right?
I'll put my words in it and say I love.
You put your words in and say,
will last forever.
I hope it does. For your sake and your singing abilities, I hope it does. Good morning, St. Lucia, once again. Good morning, Flawless.
Morning.
You sound, you feel really good today. You're
I
singing.
do.
Can you actually sing a conversation?
Maybe I can.
So can we try that today for man versus woman?
Why not?
All right. So it's man versus woman again.
It is woman versus man.
Man versus woman.
I'm not going to sing now. So,
you see, the thing is, man can get woman to do almost anything.
You can't. No, you can't.
Man can get woman to do almost anything.
I'm doing that for the listeners and the viewers via
GVD TV channel
115.
It's GVD TV.
GVD TV
channel 115. It's FM 92.19 to 1.1, keeping you alive. You know I'm full of jive.
Boy.
It is Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
It is.
It is
Wednesday.
Wednesday, the very last day of the month of July. You know what that means,
I think
right?
that's why I'm happy.
Why are you happy? Tell me. Because it's the last. Because it is the last day of the month, or because you think it's payday?
Because it is the last day. PD.
Oh, she doesn't like it.
All right, about PD?
Who cares? So that means I can notify you. I can let you know now that you're not getting paid till about Wednesday next week.
Not a problem.
Okay, all right, great.
Sometimes
great employees.
You provide lunch and everything for
the
me
rest of the week.
For the rest of the week, also dinner.
On second thought, I think you want to take this call real quick. We got a real quick call. Hits FM. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning. Hello.
Hello, you're live.
Hello.
You're on man versus woman. All right, so let's cut it. Hi, hello. Shall we you there? Hello. Caller, can you listen to us through the phone, caller? All right, so all right.
So yeah,
we always get those, where people just they've got a phone in their hand and all of a sudden they forgot it's a phone that you need to speak into the phone.
But they want to hear themselves on.
Then with the smart TVs you can record it.
Right.
Yeah, and then go back and watch it. They want to do it live. Hit TV Land. Good morning. Good morning, TV Land. Why'd you steal my idea? I was gonna
Asylum, I did the
and
thing
you decided to steal my ideas.
Just like to steal ladies' ideas.
You know what? Man versus woman.
Yeah, woman versus man.
Stick a pin. Man versus woman.
Good morning.
All right, so we've said good morning enough. And welcome back to another episode of Man vs. Woman right here on Hits FM 92.1, 91.1 and GVD TV channel 115. All right. And this morning we got a nice little juicy scenario we're going to touch on.
Yeah, we
do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me?
I asked the question yesterday.
Yes? And you were going to pick up on that?
Why not?
You want to refresh the question?
The question is, can you be in love with more than one person at a time?
At the same time. I know the answer to that, at least for me. Our studio line, folks, take the number. It's on our screen. Or you can call us at 458-2488 or via WhatsApp at 721-3303. Man versus woman, yet another day, another episode, something new, something fresh. Let's do this. You ready to read our scenario for us? Say that again? No, there should be. So unless there's an issue. All right.
Yes. So
yes.
It says good morning, Flawless and Asylum.
We know that's not what it said, but go ahead.
You know, Flawless in caps, Asylum in let's not even do that. Yeah.
Whatever.
It says recently I found out from a family friend that my 16-year-old is sexually active.
Wait. Okay.
When I asked her about it, at first she denied, and said that the person who told me is crazy and jealous of her. Not too long ago, rumors surfaced about her skipping school to hang out with this particular man. I asked her again, and she admitted that she is seeing this man, but she is not sexually active. The man in question is 38 years old. He also has a reputation to be a player. Guys, my daughter is only 16 years old and she's not ready for that kind of relationship. When I found out how old he was and about his reputation, I went to her and told her and asked why choose a man so grown. I told her there are plenty of boys her age around. She doesn't need to be in a situation like that at such a tender age. She told me that the age of consent is 16 and I have no right to be all up in her personal life. Mind you, I give her money for school every day. I buy her clothes, food, etc. I get her everything she ever needs. I am her mother and I feel like she has no respect for me. I have tried to reach out to the guy, but he just ignores my calls and messages. I don't want anything bad to happen to my daughter. All my family members have asked me to stop giving her stuff and tell her to ask the man to take care of her. But I cannot bring myself to do such. Am I being too soft on her? What should I do? I need help.
And I breathe that, I took that deep breath for every man that I'm representing today in Man vs. Woman who has a teenage daughter. You know, first of all, the law has it that at 16, one can give consent to having sex.
Right.
But at 16, you're still living at home. Chances are you're still living at home.
Right.
Your mother and your mother. Well, there are some 16-year-olds who unfortunately are on their own, doing their own thing at that age. You're living in your parents' house, your mother's house, your father's house, your parents' house. Right. They're providing for you.
Right.
They're working hard. They have worked hard to make sure that you have the best of what they can afford.
Right.
Might not be the best to your liking because your friends might be a little better off than your family.
Yeah.
And they're able to buy their children Jordans, and we can only shop at M. Musa and Sons. Mm-hmm. Is there a store called M. Musa and Sons?
No.
Okay, well, you know what I'm talking about. The Syrians.
Okay.
What I think is important here is for parents to realize that whilst the government says that at 16 years old a child, may be male or female, can give consent, can have consensual sex. Mm-hmm. We as parents still have rules in our homes.
Right. And
we would like our children at 16 to adhere to those rules. And I almost guarantee there's not a parent here who would be okay, even if they've come to terms with it, right, with their child having sex or being sexually active at 16 and still living under their roof. There's not a parent in this world that I know would allow that.
No.
Especially in our culture. The boyfriends are not allowed to come over and hang out.
You know, I think it's allowed now. Yeah.
It's allowed now. It's acceptable.
It's acceptable.
Because
parents are
in North America, I mean, my oldest daughter, she with daddy and my boyfriend coming over, and it's like, okay, what can I say? The most you can do is acknowledge the fact that she's been open enough to tell you beforehand. Mm-hmm. But we don't allow that in St. Lucia.
No.
No boyfriend is going to come and chill at my house with my 16-year-old daughter.
But that's the thing. There are parents who allow it. There are parents who actually allow it.
Very few, though.
Very few.
Okay, sorry. So we're getting there. The movement has started.
Yeah,
right?
But in St. Lucia, what? To me, St. Lucian mothers, they're known for that. The minute you're like probably 15, 16 and you claim you have a boyfriend, oh, so you're a big woman, tell him take care of you. Well, that's always the case.
And in that case, you're sending your child to use her body to get whatever she wants, because now she feels that she has to do whatever this man wants in order for him to take care. Well, because it comes with that, because most times when you find these young people in relationships and the mother decides to throw them under the bus and say, okay, well, you're playing big woman or you have a man, let him take care of you.
Well, I think
what does that mean?
What does
that mean?
That always comes after probably the mother has tried to like convince the child.
But I don't think enough of our parents sit our children down and explain to them the consequences of their actions, especially when sex is concerned.
Let me
A
tell
lot of
you.
times when we do find out that these children are sexually active because we don't have that bond with them that they can come and be open with us, it's usually after something bad happens, a pregnancy or something of that sort.
But let me tell you, we don't live in the Stone Age anymore. Everybody knows the
Right.
consequences of as young as
I
12
mean,
years
no, but
old.
you see, the
11
thing
and
is,
12 years old.
again,
as
this
long-
goes back to the conversation we had yesterday. Knowing it is one thing, but have it been said to you by the persons that are supposed to say it
yeah.
is very important.
Yeah, but
I mean,
at the end of the day, they know better. Like they know
yeah,
what's
but
going to
you can't.
happen.
You see, you as a parent still can't say, "Well, yeah, you know better,"
No,
because
well,
if you made no attempts, if you have made no attempts to teach your child
right.
certain things about life and they go and find out on their own, you can't say, well, because you didn't teach them. We need to, as parents, play a bigger role in educating our children. We believe that we get up every morning and our duty is to dress them, put in the nice bubbles and make sure the uniform is nicely ironed and give them the books and breakfast and lunch and send them to school. When they
Right.
come home, we need to find out what they learned.
Right.
We need to be more involved in their lives.
Right. I think there are children, no matter how much you talk to them about that, they just won't hear it.
Yeah, but you see, culture is everything to me.
Right.
If you develop, as a parent, if you develop that culture in your child to come to you, I mean, proud, I can say, my oldest daughter, my second daughter is you know, she's a different child. My
Right.
oldest daughter, when she was born, I created that bond with her. When she became a young lady, she came to me first.
Oh.
I was the one who brought the news to her mother.
Wow.
That's the type of relationship we had.
All right.
And still do.
Right. Okay.
Now I'm not as influential on her as
Cause
before, you know. But
we-
I mean, at the end of the day, those are our children.
Right.
When they go out in the world and they fail, it's almost as we are failing.
Exactly.
So we have to equip them with the necessary tools to win, to become people, you know, people of importance.
Right.
We have to invest that time because otherwise, what do you go to work for every day? You go to
True.
work to support your family, and it's not financially, not just financially, because you build a big house or a small house, whatever house you have, that is yours, and what comes with that is the family.
Right.
A house without love and understanding and respect is just a house. It's not a home.
Right.
And a part of that home is us finding time to take care of just like when the house leaks, you rush out and you start going crazy trying to find somebody to fix it.
Yeah. I get you.
We need to invest more time in our children as people.
Definitely.
And
But that's the thing, Asylum. There are parents who invest as much time as they
See-
can give and all of that, but there are children
tell
due
you.
to peer pressure,
uh-huh.
they
Here's-
would still do whatever they want to
here's
do.
here's the thing about life. A farmer can go out and lay down in the field, work his hardest in the hot sun to take care of those crops,
Right.
and still they don't yield what he's expecting.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean that the other farmer is going to look at him and say, well, boy, you know, he didn't get much out of his, so I ain't going to try.
True. No, but I'm just
You know,
saying, there is always that case.
There's always the
where-
gate. There's always the
always
gate.
that-
you know?
that thing
but
where-
you can also take comfort in knowing that you tried your very
Yeah.
best.
Yeah.
When people fail us, right? It's one set of pain. But when when you have that cushion of knowing that you have done your very best to help that child to become somebody, then you can you know in your mind you can sort of be at ease because you know you've done your part. And that's the thing. If I do my part, you do your part. Chances are it's going to be, you know, better off in the end.
Right.
You know, as for a 16-year-old being with someone who's 30-something, I still say that we as a society need to start taking a hard look at the man in the mirror.
Right.
Chances are that 38-year-old would not like being in the shoes of the parents of that teenage girl.
True.
Some
So
people
true.
say age is only a number. But age to me is only a number when you're an adult.
Exactly.
At 16, you're still a child. You should be doing things that your peers, children your age, doing, enjoying, you know, your teenage, your late teenage
you
years.
understand?
not being
In a-
subjected to an older man who's lived his
38
life,
years,
who
more than twice your
who
age.
knows how to manipulate and
Exactly.
twist and turn your mind.
And he has a reputation.
And he also has a reputation. As a 16-year-old, I don't see a parent who would want or encourage their. And as a matter of fact, there's a lot of parents out there who do that,
Yeah.
who encourage their teenage daughters
Let
to
me
be
tell
old
you,
for
but of-
financial
But
reasons,
of
for different
course,
reasons.
or tell them to send you to school, or just because they want money and they're too lazy to get up.
And that has
and
to
find
be
them.
that's a culture we have to break.
Let me tell you something, Asylum. Growing up, I was scared. I was scared into not dating anybody. Okay, I wasn't just taught. My mom, let me tell you, my mom used to give me a licking, and
Right.
I kudos to you, mommy, for that. Because if you didn't do that, let me tell you. But yeah, I always growing up, I was always told that that's the worst thing you can ever do, is lose your virginity at such a young age and all of that, and you should save yourself for marriage or the right person and all of that. My mom wanted me to start life when I was 25.
That's a plan for. That's
But-
all parents. That's our wish. All parents, we wish that our kids could start taking on these things, because at 25, you if you don't know what you're about at the age of 25 years old, you have a serious problem on your hands.
Right. I know, right?
At 25, you should have already enjoyed yourself a
Yeah.
little bit, partying, and
I
be
think that's
settled-
about
settling your mind.
that time in your life
Yeah,
where
you
you
start settling down, you start
a little
calming
more
down,
focused, and yeah.
Now there's some big babies too. There's some
Yeah.
older folks that are acting younger than the 25-year-olds. But I think at 25, one should already, determine where you want to be in life,
Right.
right? And is working towards it.
Definitely.
At 16, a 16-year-old
You're-
being
you're
with
a
a
child.
you're a child.
That's just what it is. That's the
Enjoy
reality
your
of it.
childhood.
Like, why?
We try
Why?
to grow up too fast, and before you know it, we're pushing baby carriages
And-
and these
yeah.
type of things, cutting our lives short,
Makes no sense.
setting ourselves up to fail.
Right.
You
And
know,
let me tell you, when I see, and I've heard people say, like, especially when I see teenagers pregnant, I've heard their mothers say, it's a good thing you had the child that early. You will not have the problems when you're older.
Why you not have problems when you're older? You
And
should have been-
that's what
should have
I'm-
been finishing your education.
And
to
I'm
prepare
like,
yourself.
are you serious? Yo, this
I'm
kid
not
just had a kid, and
Uh-huh.
you're saying it's okay?
you know,
You understand? So I think with each generation, I think the age limit drops. Like
Well-
the age drops because it started like I don't even.
it
know.
has, and you're right. And a lot of also a lot of mothers out there who say, well, there ain't nothing wrong with it because I had you when I was 16, right?
So that means
And-
there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, that's the way they see it. It happened to me. I seem to have turned out fine. But if they were to think back at the times when they had it hard,
Right.
and the times that they wish that they didn't get pregnant so early,
Exactly.
and where they could have been if they didn't get pregnant so early.
Exactly.
Those are some of the simple things that people forget to,
Let me
think.
tell you how I see it. You're young, live your life. A boyfriend is going to come. A child is going to come if that's what you're looking for. A relationship is going to come. Don't rush into those things. You're 16. You're with a guy who's more than twice your
Your
age.
who can be your father.
Yeah, that makes no sense to me. That makes no sense. I don't know if you're going through a phase. I don't know why you don't feel comfortable dating. If you claim you're just dating and you're not sexually active, I don't know why you don't feel comfortable dating somebody in your own age group.
It's not even that. Is that I think people have lost the whole idea of dating too. I mean, people feel that if you're dating, you're supposed to have sex. You don't have to.
No.
I mean, you can have a boyfriend, and you guys are dating, and you go to the movies, you do stuff together. That doesn't mean that you have to have sex.
And that's the thing. Sex is like what's on everybody's mind now. If
Yeah,
you're
well,
not
that's the
having,
thing, sex,
if
then
you're
no.
with somebody and you're not having sex, that means
And that is due to a lot of things. I mean, our whole social makeup has changed.
Right.
I mean, look at Carnival.
Right.
How could some of these women come out in these costumes that they did for Carnival and not thinking that a 14-year-old boy would see them and be aroused?
This element is getting so crazy.
Especially the way they shake themselves.
Right.
How could a 14 or a 16-year-old boy stand on the side of the road, even if he's there with his mother, and seeing these women doing the things that they're doing, and not go, whoa, wait a minute, this is happening for real?
And I feel like I'm not trying to like throw shade at anybody else, or carnival is carnival. That's what carnival. Okay, that's what carnival is about. But I just feel like when it comes to dressing up for carnival, like we should acknowledge that there are kids around. There are kids. We should be the ones setting the example.
All right. Good morning, Hits FM. You live.
Good morning.
I got a missed call from that number.
Okay.
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, yes. But I feel like we should be the ones, showing the generation after us what to do, what not to do. I feel like with every generation, like I said, it keeps just getting worse.
All right.
When carnival was going on and stuff, I didn't really see anybody for myself on the road half.
But you saw the videos.
I saw the videos, and I'm like, yo. If I had to be there with my child, I would have left immediately. I wouldn't want my child around anything like that. You understand? I get the panties and the bra and all of that, but anything beyond that or less than that,
but
I'm not
there
for.
was a time even when the panties and bra were worn, you had the little pieces of belts that covered in front and a little feather thing that covered the behind.
And I even think people forgot why carnival even came about what it came from. You understand? I think people just do it just because they like bacchanal and all of that, but carnival, there is a reason for carnival, and the costumes are for a reason, and you'll just make it less and less issue. I'm not dissing anybody because the costumes were tint this year. I'm just saying.
Would you have worn any?
There's just this one costume alone. I think it was this orange wraparound thingy. That's one thing I think I would have worn because it covered almost everything.
All right, so we got a message here. It says, "Good morning, Asylum." I'm just reading it the way it is written there. Good morning, Asylum, and Flawless. Somewhere the mother got connected to the daughter, and because you don't tell me that you there with your daughter, you not checking your daughter change, and somebody have to tell you. All right, so this person saying that the mother have gotten lost connection with her daughter because there's no way the daughter can change so much and the mother not notice.
But I feel like that's teenage years.
Honestly,
you get me? That the connection was probably there when they were younger.
When they're younger,
it's gone during that period. It usually disappears. But that's
when we need that connection the most, because that's when those children are vulnerable the most.
Right,
That's when they're being preyed on the most. Right?
But it usually disappears around that time.
And that's coming from Tamara. Good morning, Tamara.
Good morning,
Tamara, we want to hear your voice. It's really something. The law of money, again, is what a lot of the men and women do it too. There are women out there who are taking advantage of the young boys too.
Yes.
Right, and chances are they use money.
Not chances. That is just what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Let's just say it how it is.
Again, to the parents who see their children come home with the smartphones, the $2,000 phones.
Right.
You know your child ain't work a day in his life yet.
Right.
And you know you can't even, if you had $2,000, you know it's Lucilec and Wasco you're rushing to, and Massey.
Right. And Ports.
Well, and some of you, like, where you get that? My friend give it. Your friend what? Some parents do not investigate their children enough.
Let me tell you, some parents would be like, your friend, wow, when he coming around. That's what some parents would do.
When he can get one for me.
You understand?
But we ought to remember that whenever this, I totally believe that on a scale of maybe 1 to 8, that nothing ever comes free.
True.
There's, even if it's not said, there's always a time that you're gonna have to pay that debt back.
Yeah. Or you're going to be they will want
somebody
it to be paid
genuinely
back.
give you something.
It happens, but like you said,
let me tell you, it happens. I'm not saying no.
Yeah.
But when it does happen and someone gives you something, whenever they're in need of, you're the first person that comes to mind.
Right.
I remember like if Flores, I think there was. Let me check see if she couldn't help me out this time.
Right.
You always come to mind.
Right.
So
you're expected
you
be
see
back.
Children, especially now with these. I mean, I still have an old phone. My phone is a Toronto now, iPhone 7. That's almost obsolete.
Wow, I've never had an iPhone 7. Just saying.
What phone have you had?
Just Samsung something.
Samsung,
I'm not a phone. 9? I'm not a phone person.
Not me. I always like to have a nice phone, something that can get my job done.
I will never spend $1,000, $2,000 on a phone. It's not going to happen. I'm going to get myself a good phone.
Uh-huh.
The phone is meant for calling, WhatsApp, and blah blah blah.
Right.
I'm not going to spend so much money on a phone. I can
mean,
buy a
the
TV
thing
with
is,
that money.
we're talking about you know, the fact that some youngsters have these type of expensive phone. There are parents who honestly reward their children with expensive stuff for doing good.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, if you can afford, why not?
You know, they're parents because I mean, we had some kids doing our Youth on the Go program on Saturdays from 3 high schools, and boy, when I see the phones and one kid has iPhone, Apple, MacBook, and you know,
right.
and their parents actually reward them for doing good.
Right.
And he says, you know what, Asylum, I work hard in school because you know I know my parents look forward to it, and when I do bring the results in, they and that's fine.
If I was well off and I was a parent, I would probably be doing the same. Yeah, just, you know, treating my kids.
So this message says, now what business a 16-year-old will have so much to her to tell her mother, stay out and I have to be giving you food.
Right.
You will have to provide for yourself or make your mind. But you see, that's the mentality that I cringe when I see parents tell children, okay, well, you're playing big woman, so let your man take care of you. Or
so if you can
you get pregnant, put you out. Because what you're doing, you're throwing them in front of the bus.
I get you. I
mean, when children make mistakes, just like we as parents, we're not all perfect. Life didn't come with a handbook so we know what's coming in the next chapter.
Right.
Because of past experiences of other people, your family, your parents, you yourself, you can kind of guesstimate what's going to happen next.
Right.
But when a child makes a mistake, and our culture is something that is very prevalent in our culture, and we need to start as parents take a step back and look at the advice that we give our children.
All right.
Always make sure you find a man who could take care of you. What does that mean to a child?
Make sure you get a man with money.
Exactly. You know, when a child gets pregnant, we put them out. What happens to them? They goes out. They struggle.
The thing is, why do they put them out? Asylum, I believe, as Lucian parents are known for that too.
Right.
They like to talk. They like to warn. They like to give. They always tell you, hey, if you don't do this or this is going to happen. They like to warn. They may not do it in the most pleasant manner,
right,
but they like to give you a heads up. This is what is going to happen.
Whilst
blah,
I
blah,
agree
blah.
with you, I believe though, right, that when you have a child and you've tried timeouts,
right,
and you realize timeouts is not working,
right,
you ought to try something else,
right,
and keep trying.
So if you try, you're going to try. You're going to try forever.
You see, the thing is though, what we forget is that immediately that child is ours. 50 years from now, that child will still be ours.
Right.
And whatever mistakes that child makes in life impacts us.
Yeah.
So we can't give up on them. Some people say, "Oh, me, I try so much, I had a boy that I give up." You cannot give up on your children.
But
because at the end of the day, I always tell people I truly own 2 things in my life. One is my name, ultimately who I am, and 2, my children. The house can go, the vehicle can go, the job can go, but those children, whether we like it or not, whether they're doing good or bad, will always remain our children.
Right. And I totally understand that. What I'm saying is,
that
Asylum,
and God should be your first commitment.
Right, but I'm saying if I was a mother and I have a son or daughter, and I've been warning you for countless years. I've been telling you stop this or don't do this or whatever the case is, but I've been warning you. And I feel like, hey, you're just doing the same thing.
Try something
to
else.
the point.
Try a different strategy.
No, I've been trying everything. And it's gotten to the point where the same thing I warned you about for years upon years, you did that same thing and you got caught up in whatever. If you can adhere, you're going to feel. And that's how I was brought up. And that's honestly, that is how I'm going to.
That is fine. It's fine. Some families have different ways of dealing with these things. But I strongly believe that anytime you're in a situation where you say you warn your child or you've talked to your child countless numbers of times to stop doing, maybe it's just your approach, your delivery is what is not being effective.
Could be that, or could be just be the child is just stubborn and the child is one time.
No, you see,
Asylum, come on. We're talking about teenagers.
I understand that.
That's
And
the period.
I
That's
fully understand that. You know, I asked a question once to a couple of friends of mine. Would you be your child's friend, best friend? And a lot of them said no. But this is where I'm coming from. Who do you tell your deepest secrets? Who do you open up to the most? When something is on your mind and something is bothering you, who do you run to first?
bestie.
All right. My case is rested.
Yeah.
My case is rested. I think too much times we tend to want to be the authority figure, and it's all about don't do this or don't do that. No, if you try that and it doesn't work, then you know what, babies, come here, sit with me, let me talk to you. What's going on? Try to find ways to get into that child's head,
All right.
because sometimes it's resentment that why they choose not to listen to us. Maybe it's our delivery.
Right. Good.
And I'm
Could
not saying
be.
because you know, most people when they're faced with an issue, let's say for instance your boss tell you something at work, because you know you might lose your job, you might bite your tongue.
You know.
If that same thing was said to you at home, where you know you're going out and bad without almost any consequences, you'll probably do it, right?
Yeah. If no consequences, sure. Why not?
So then if you could, you know, respond differently to a situation because it might potentially land you in a certain type of trouble. Why can't you try different ways of reaching out to your children?
Well, Salam, that's the thing. I'm telling you, you used to be a teenager. You know what puberty is like. You know your mind is everywhere.
Let me tell you what I was like as a teenager. My parents are two different type of people.
I remember you said
My
that.
mother would step on you. She would beat you with anything she
And your
get her
dad-
hands on. My dad is a he doesn't speak. He
lecturer.
lectures you. And every time I got myself in a position where I was going to get in trouble, I could just hear him in my head. And I would just step away
Right.
and walk away from it. There are times when I did get in trouble and my dad grabbed me, even though my mother would murder me with licks. When he was done making you feel bad about, you know, how he had life rough and all of that, sometimes I used to wish my mother did beat me. Different strategies. And between the two of them, I rarely got in trouble. Because I know it's either my mother killed me or my father talked me to death.
But that's the thing too, Asylum. It's probably the type of person you are, or you were at that time. Your mindset.
I think too. We ought to develop relationships with our children.
Yeah,
from a
that
very,
is
very young age.
very
we have
important.
to invest the time.
Yeah.
From a very, very young age. And one of the things that we as parents, West Indian parents, do not constantly remind our children is that we are always there for them.
All right.
Right? Whenever they feel the need to do something, then they can come to us first.
Right.
You know, we don't remind our children that enough. How many children leave home on a daily basis and don't get a hug and a I love you from their parents?
Do parents even say that to the kids anymore?
Exactly. And these are things that reminds them. So whenever they decide to step on a frog, they will hear your voice in their head.
All right. All right. Like I said, Asylum, I've seen cases where parents raise the kids best relationship, whatever. Soon as
And you are
adolescence
going to-
hits, puberty hits,
You are going to get that.
it's a totally different
you
thing.
are
It's
going-
like
you
they
know-
don't want to be. I don't want to
okay.
be around you. Or you're an old person.
And
I
you
don't want
are
to be
going
around.
to get that.
That's just what
You
That's just what
are
I'm saying.
going to get that.
Yeah, and
then you get to the age where they'll come right back to you and mom, it's all about
Exactly.
mommy, it's all about
So
daddy. I
that-
want to do
that-
right by my
that's-
daddy. I want to do right by my mommy.
all right. I feel
want to
like
make them
this
proud of me.
is a phase. I mean, I was
know?
I was a troublesome teenager. I had my times. I was very rebellious. I was a troublesome person. But hey, I grew out of it, and I thank my mom every day.
Do you think that, as you've said that, do you think that if your parents were or made efforts to get closer to you at that vulnerable part of your life, that you might have been different?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
yeah. But
We have to watch the times as our children grow. right? So
Right.
different strategies are for different times.
Right.
When you see that the children are getting into that age where they seem to never be at home, then find reasons for them, find things for them to stay at home for. Have more barbecues in the yard. Instead of on a Friday, instead of mom coming home and cook, prepare some chicken and thing, and we'll put a little grill in the yard and light the fire, and find things to keep them around.
I don't think,
Engage them.
I don't think St. Lucian people are like that.
No, but you see,
I'm just saying that is
No,
not
but
in our culture. It's
but
not us.
You see, the thing is, we have access to this type of information. You have to invest the time in finding out what your child like, what he doesn't like, and try to do things to engage
Let
them.
me tell you what I think it is with Lucian parents. We love our kids like crazy, but we're not going to humble for any of our kids. That's just how I feel Lucian parents are. They're going to go all out for you. Even when they tell you to go and make that man feed you, or since you don't listen to me, go out on your own or whatever. If you come to them and say, "Hey, mom, well, this happened, that happened," they're going to take you back in. As much as they feel like you disrespected them or you went against them or whatever, they're definitely going to take you back in. I think that's just how Lucian parents deal with stuff. Tough love. It is what it is.
Tough love doesn't always work.
It doesn't always, but I think
just
that's
feel
what
there's
we
time.
know.
At the end of the day, and we're going right back to to what I said earlier. When these children fail or get in trouble, they're still our children.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and we're still going to check on them,
right? And we're still gonna have people say, "Oh well, that's Tom Jones' son
Right.
or Mary Jane daughter."
Right.
That day, and your name always gonna come up.
Yep.
So I don't think that there's any stone that should be left unturned. Any avenues should left unexplored when it
Right.
comes to helping your children become who you envision them. There's not a parent out there who has a child and wish that child bad in life. They always want to see their children strive
But
for
of course,
better.
yeah. And I think too, that's the thing. When I feel like, if I'm a parent and I feel like, hey, this is what I envisioned for you growing up, I always thought probably my daughter would be a nurse, or and I see you taking another route. I think that's where the tough love comes in, or just the fact that that person went against all the plans you had for them is like you don't even want to hear. That's just how parents are. But to the 16-year-old, honey, you're only 16. You have no business with a 38-year-old.
I think that, and that's a sad part of life, because you might think that, okay, well, I have things that my friends don't have because he's providing.
Right. For how long?
I have $1,000 phone, and
This
I
guy
have
is
the latest
eventually
Jordans.
going to
But
get.
here's the thing, right? I always say that age brings along an umbrella with it. Right? At 16, you're probably into a whole lot different things than a 38-year-old.
All right.
What your interests are more likely, unless it's sex, not his interest.
Right.
So then,
Unless you have a really
might
old
not
soul.
be interested in anything he does. I sure you don't want him to bring you to no domino match with his friends them. Right?
Or Western.
Or Western with his friends. Two total different umbrellas.
Yes, it's true.
So then ask yourself, why am I with him?
Right, for the money.
Is it then you're nothing? You're prostituting yourself.
Or just having fun.
That's not having fun.
That's what they call it.
If you're having sex and the man is giving you money and phone and shoes and clothes, you are a prostitute. You're prostituting yourself. There's no real love. You might think it's love, but it's you love what he can do for you. That's what you love.
Right.
And he loves what you can do for him.
Right.
Which is more than likely sex or bragging rights.
Right.
So he could tell his friends, yeah, boy, yeah, it's my
Been there, done that.
My little 16-year-old thing I have there.
Yeah.
That's what you become.
It's true. And eventually he's going to look for someone who's mature to spend the rest of his life with.
In his house.
In his house, and you're on the outside getting nothing, just used you. I mean, The money stops eventually. All those things stops. The interest dies out.
And
He looks for the other
16
16-year-old.
when you turn 17, then he starts looking for a 16-year-old.
You understand? So trust me, your phase is going to pass.
It's gonna pass.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, don't give especially at such a tender age, don't give yourself to a guy that grown. It makes no sense.
No, fine.
Take your time.
Mean, if you for whatever reason you decide that you're sexually active and you want to be sexually active, do it with people your age.
Exactly.
So at least you share more than sex. You have common interests.
Or just don't do it.
You know that too.
Just don't.
Right? You with somebody your age, you guys can do things that people your age enjoy. Go places that people your
Dates,
age
go to the beach,
you know,
have a picnic. I just feel like having sex at an early age, you just wait. Trust me, it's better. The older you are, the better it will feel. That thing where you're rushing into that at such a tender age, to me,
the younger generation now, to me, they're more sexually, inclined than we were.
To everybody,
and it seems like every generation that comes with more sexuality.
I was watching a status this morning, and I'm like, why would you even post something like that? But that's besides the point. This children, the little girl pulling down and the little boy, and I'm like, I don't even want to go into details. And this person posted it, which really disgusted me, because those are kids, and you're posting kids in that type of manner and asylum. Let me tell you, I was disgusted by it. You see me? That boy is about Cameron's age.
No, that's a baby. That's
what I'm saying. Well, yeah.
Not maybe a year old.
Are you seeing this?
But then again, it's what they see their parents do.
So, yeah,
and for the people again, I
that's
always
to show
say
you what the generation is.
It's like
babies now.
I always say that there should be something put in place to not only penalize the people that make these videos, the people that share them should be held accountable too.
I'm telling you.
That's just my thought.
Just everything about somebody underage.
They've become very sexual. The generation now is very, very sexually active, sexually inclined. They think about nothing but sex.
I got into life at 18, and I felt like I was too young.
You rushed it.
I rushed it. I wasn't ready for that.
If you were to go back, you'd change.
I would definitely change it and just wait for the first person.
About what age would you wait?
Probably 23, 24. Probably about that. Or even older. Who knows? But I definitely wouldn't at 18 rush into anything.
Got a message here. It says, most likely the man has an older girlfriend, most mature. You, the little 16-year-old girl, the person didn't finish. Okay, so most likely the guy has an older. I mean, anytime I always say that anytime I see a significantly older man with a woman, especially not especially, and she's under the age of 20, it's really purely only sex and bragging rights.
Yep.
That's what it is.
That's
to me,
what it is.
From what I've witnessed in my life already, that's what it is.
A little fun on the side.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
That's what you considered a little
sex
fun.
And to tell his friends, boy, see, I still got it together.
Oh, my little fling.
It's never anything with any substance. Young ladies, the only difference between you and the ladies of the night is that you might not always, all the time, ask for money.
Right. And imagine, I've heard teenagers say, it's good that he has a woman. All I want is his money. I don't want a man's stress. As little girls, And I'm like, yo, are you serious? Like, what has the generation, it's like women don't even have morals anymore. It's like money and whatever comes after that, we don't even care about it. Everything is money, money, money. To the point where teenagers, our children, our daughters, they feel it's okay to just be for man for money. And we as parents, when we tell the women, our children, to find someone who can take care of you, that's just what they will.
But we need to explain to them what that means.
Go and look for somebody that will take.
There are different ways in which a man. It doesn't have to always be financially or or a man could take care of you by helping you to develop into a
Right.
proper human being.
I remember this movie, some Jamaican movie, Dancehall Queen. You've seen it before.
Yes.
And this girl was encouraging her daughter. This woman was encouraging her daughter to sleep with her uncle for money, for KFC. And I'm like, what? It's just gotten to that point, which is really sad. But at least this mom sees it as a problem, and she reached out for help. What I'm saying to you is, don't give up on your daughter. Want her scare off like my mom did. My mom scared me.
Yeah, and again, going back to what I said earlier, we cannot give up.
Yeah,
You know,
like
if you feel that you at the point where you give up, you just lost the battle. Because believe me, it's not gonna
but
get.
I think there's a time you have to just say, you know what, let her be, or
When
let
that
him
child
be.
is old enough, in my eyes old enough to, because okay, at 16, if that child gets in any trouble with the law, who they come to?
You.
All right.
Right. You're basically responsible
At
until
21, they might not come to you.
right.
All right.
So
I mean, at that age,
between 16 and 21, you're responsible.
I
After that,
think we ought to fight hard to try to keep them in line and find come up with, ingenious ways to make, because every person is different, and the solution for me is not going to be the solution for you.
right.
Try as a parent, because by then you would have had a good idea as to what your child like and doesn't like, how they react to certain things,
Right.
and how so you would have a general idea of your child, and try things that would work, that you think would work. Don't just try things just to say you tried it, or because you see somebody it's working for someone else.
Right.
And that being said, you are going to have, because look, let's face it, these children, they like to have things. And they're very stubborn. If parents can't afford to give it to them, they'll find a way to get it.
Right.
Once they say they want that S9, 10, or whatever S it is, phone, if you cannot afford to give it to them, they're going to find a way to get it. Boys and girls.
Exactly.
Okay. And they're going to do it without your knowledge.
Exactly. And hide it when they get home.
Right. So, that being said, you're not going to win every battle.
Right.
You're not going to win every argument or come out of every conversation feeling that you've gotten to that child.
Right.
But you cannot give up.
Exactly.
You cannot give up.
I personally, that's you, but I personally, after a few years of talking, I'm definitely going to leave you to yourself. Leave it to yourself. If something happens, I'm still here, but I'm going to leave you to yourself.
I'm anxious to know, though. I mean, the writer didn't mention anything about the child's father in the picture.
Probably the child's father is not there.
Again, another big issue for us as as West Indians. We're lacking that father figure. A lot of times it's a single mother that's raising these children, and these issues come about, go unnoticed sometimes because the mother's just too busy trying to provide.
Right. And not that just that, like you said, some parents don't invest time, so the father could have been around and just, if there is no time invested in that child's life.
I'm appealing to a lot of fathers out there. I mean, we have created this whole idea that money is what shows that you love a child. If a father's so-called feeding his child, then he loves him. If he's not feeding, he doesn't love.
It's not.
Time is what is important.
Yep.
Time is really what is important, and I appeal to a lot of mothers who try to keep their children from their fathers because he might be down and out, or she might think he's not trying hard enough to support his child.
Right.
Still, don't keep children away from their parents.
From their fathers.
That's I think their fathers who do the opposite too. So I mean, like, I believe
if you're
play a role in your children's life.
Negative influence on my child, you're definitely not going to be in my child's life.
In that case, but then again, what do? You just pull the child, or you have conversations?
I pull the child. That's what I do.
which to me I think is wrong. You should at least be able to talk to that person and say, look, I don't like the fact that you're introducing the child to this type of behavior, or you're doing this around the child.
Okay, I want to say good morning to Diamond, KB Blashad, Sandra Louison, good morning to you as well. Watching via Facebook Live. Yep.
We must apologize. I haven't checked Facebook today.
Yeah, so we have a few comments. Asylum, good morning, my doo-doo. Hey!
Morning, Sandra. How you doing, darling?
Yeah. So Diamond says she loves the topic.
All right, so good morning to the folks that are listening via or watching via Facebook. And also our YouTube channel is live.
Right.
So you can head over to Caribbean Hits FM and YouTube and watch it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel though.
Definitely.
We just set it up yesterday. We want you to subscribe to it. Of course, we're trying to find more and more innovative ways to get to our listeners. Some of them are on the go. They might not be able to listen to us via radio or watch us via television. And again, good morning to GVD TV.
Good morning.
I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, Vitus. Tomorrow, GVD TV celebrates 1 year in operation. So, congratulations to Vitus and Vitus Peters and the team. Of course, our sister station. Man versus Woman, you can join us Monday to Friday from 11 to 12. Monday, we promise to have a full show. We're just basically testing, making sure we iron out all the bugs right now.
Yes.
So we have been...
Probably going to have some guests on here as
Yes,
well.
of
I have
course.
some ideas for next week. I'm not going to tell Asylum about them.
Okay.
Yes, but
So you're leaving the man
do.
in the dark.
I'm leaving you in the dark because if I tell you, you're probably going to have some guests on yourself.
All right.
So I'm not going to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll allow you to surprise us. Of course, channel 115. Make sure you tell a friend, and you can join us. Hits FM and GVD TV come together from 7 a.m. to 8 with Dr. Secret and Lady Diane, the nurse. Very, very informative. Pep La Pale.
Yep.
All right. And of course, you join us again at 11 for Man versus Woman. Now we have about 15 or so minutes. No, 9 minutes left. Can we go touch a question real quick?
Oh yes. My question yesterday:
Is it okay for
can someone be in love with more than one person at a time?
Is that one? I thought it was the other question.
What question
Your
was
ex.
it?
You should be allowed to.
But didn't we discuss that one?
Okay. So more than one person at the same time?
Yeah. And you
I
said
think so.
You told me to let you answer that real quick. Remember?
I think so.
Yeah. That's how you have a
think so.
problem.
No, I mean,
Yes, you do.
love has different levels to it.
Can you be in love?
Sure,
In love.
sure.
You know what in love is, right?
I know I know people who have that type of thing going on and they're happy.
In love.
It depends on the situation. Depends on the people that you're in love with.
Can someone be in love with more than one person at a time? And
I
you
think
said
so.
Yes.
I think so. I think you can.
Okay. And
Doesn't mean it doesn't make it right.
I don't. Is that even
Doesn't
possible?
make it right. Yes, it is. Because
That's
every individual impacts you in a different way.
Right.
My relationship with you or my experience with you might not be the same as Nayo's experience or relationship with you
All right.
for different reasons.
Right.
And I find that and this is coming from me personally, whenever you have a relationship and people step out of the relationship, it's because they're looking for something that's not there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, that might not be important to you as a partner in the relationship, but it might be important to the person, the other partner in the relationship.
Right.
They might not and say it. They just know that they cannot find it within you. Your character doesn't permit that. The way you think, the way you live doesn't permit that. So right out, they'll go and they'll try to find it somewhere else. So that's when they have a breach in the relationship.
Yep.
Now, when they find it in that person, depends on how important that is to them. They can fall in love with that person just because they have that feature. or
That means
one
they might
thing.
have fallen out of love with you.
No.
Tell them that makes sense.
No, it does.
When you fall
It
in
does.
love, it's like you're giving half of your soul to somebody, It's
Not
like
all-
the two
not all the
become
time.
the two become. Well,
Not all the
that
time.
is not in
People love
love.
a different-
That is
people-
not in
no,
love.
people love at different
Not
intensity.
love.
Same
love.
thing. People fall in
No.
love at different intensity.
Well, that's not in
Because
love. You're not in love.
you ever heard? Let me draw a scenario. You might know someone, and you know the person's character very well, and then all of a sudden the person's with a new person, and it's like, wow, I didn't expect that from him, or I didn't know he was like that, or he would date that type of person. That person brings out that feature in him.
I totally get that, but
There are things you would do with your partner now that you might never ever do again, even if you have 50 partners from here on the rest of your life. Right or wrong?
Why you say 10? You say 50.
50. Man, we just think big.
Let me tell you, I just feel like
Every individual impacts our life in a different way.
you can't be in love with two people at the same time.
Maybe because you're in love with one person and that person has consumed your entire being.
Exactly. That's
But-
what's the
but-
whole. That's the
Right.
whole point of being
No,
in
but-
love.
But love doesn't always come with that intensity, though.
No, in love, there are different levels
No,
of love,
no,
but
no,
there's
the thing
only
is-
one level of being
thing
in
is,
love.
The thing is, this is what we forget, is that we have to make it the very best that it can be. There are some people who get into a relationship, it's like, okay, I live in the house, I good.
Mm-hmm.
There's somewhere, there's an old saying, you have the ring, I have the man.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
that?
yes, I know.
There's
it.
some wives who feel that, okay, I'm already Mrs., I'm good. I don't need to do the monkey tricks
All right.
to keep him at home. I don't need to, when he comes home, I don't need to remind him what he have here waiting for him.
Because he already knows.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. Right?
I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Asylum, I feel like when you're in love with somebody, it's all about that person. Like I said, there is love.
You
There
know-
are different
you know,
levels to
you
love.
also do know that you can be in love with someone and that person doesn't care a rat's ass about you.
Yeah, I can't believe you said that word
Yes.
over the air, but yeah.
Right.
What I'm saying is asylum. No, but yes, that's true. But what I'm saying, I'm talking about you in love with somebody. There is love. There are different levels to love. But there's only one level
There's
to be
no guarantee
in love.
There's no guarantee that you love you give out is the
I
love
know,
you
that's
get
what I'm
back.
saying. That is what I'm
to have
saying.
two people's, when you find two people that says, we are so in love, everything's great, this is the best relationship of my life, yada 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 yada. It doesn't mean that they're on the same level. One partner would go out and
that's
die
besides.
for you while you don't take a step back and say, wait, hold up, what am I doing here?
Well, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. That's not in love. So no, two people can be in love at the same time.
So you've been are you in love?
Duh. Like, is that even a
Why are
question?
you not answering me?
I said, duh. Is that even a
Why are you
question?
not answering me directly?
Asylum, I'm in love.
You in love?
Yes.
All right. Have you ever felt this type of love ever in your life?
No.
Okay.
Ever.
And there's no telling that tomorrow, if all doesn't go well, that you would not ever find this intensity again.
I don't know. I don't
All right.
know.
All right. My
But
point.
honestly, that type of
My
love, let me
point.
tell. But let me tell
It's
you,
great-
Asylum.
It's great when you have two people who feel
Right.
who feel the same way about each other. It's it's a good feeling. I think most people hits a family life.
They're listening to us the other night. Ready? They're laughing at flawless guess.
Yeah, okay.
How you mean the? Just answer the question, man. If you're in love or you're not in love.
How is that?
Yeah, well, answer the question. You in love or you're not in love?
Oh, am I in love? Let me tell you, I'm not in love. I'm over love. Yeah?
Well, that's true. That's true. Let me tell you something. You see this game, you see this love thing. I think some people don't understand the concept of love in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people pretend. I kind of agree with Asylum when he says that, the wife leaves home or the husband leaves home and, the wife expects him to, okay, well, make them know already. Let me tell you something. The glory of it all is in the chase,
Uh-huh.
And not because you're married to somebody or you spend 3 years in a relationship with somebody that you get so comfortable that everything is okay. You have to keep chasing.
Right.
You have to make the thing exciting every
Single day.
Every single day it must be different. Simple things like, let me see if I could find a phrase that I learned from somewhere. Your eyes are sharp as they are beautiful. But you don't know what that's going to do a woman. It might make her toes curl right there.
Make time.
Make time for your
Say
lover.
the nice things. Because to me, right, this is what I have to say. Right, Colin, we have about a minute or so left. If you can find a time to seep a little chick on the road and tell her how she look nice and how that dress fit her nice and how you like her hairdo and how you like that new shoes that she have on, why can't you do it at home?
Exactly. Let me tell you something. A lot of men make that mistake too, Oh, I don't have the girl already.
Yeah.
And then the girls step out on them now.
Uh-huh.
And then they now want to play a role and say, well, this, that. And Punjab, the little girls or the little women that just not strong enough to say, hey, you had your chance.
All right.
You understand? It happens. You have to make it exciting every single time.
Got it.
Get her involved in the stuff you're doing. You get involved in the stuff she's doing. Find something that y'all could get involved. You understand?
Right.
Walk around with a big shirt with nothing underneath. The guy walk around with some kind of fancy underwear.
Some Speedos.
You have to be sexy for your woman. Your woman have to be sexy for you. And
Right.
it does not mean physically alone. Mind, body, and spirit.
Right.
Yeah?
All right, caller. Thank you very much.
All right.
We're out of time.
Yes, sir.
All right, so folks, thank you very much for joining us here on Hits FM 92.1,
Yes, yes,
91.1, and GVD TV channel 115. It's man versus woman. We're
Woman
wrapping it up
versus
again.
man, Asylum.
Man versus man.
Asylum, let's not
listen
do
to
that.
me. All right.
Asylum.
Uh-huh.
It is called woman versus man. Okay,
right.
and let's just leave it
All
there.
right, for today. I'll let you win.
Whatever. I always win.
Join us tomorrow, same place, same time. Have yourselves a wonderful day, St. Lucia.
Yes.
I always say put safety first. If you're going to drive, remember to drive to save a life. The life that you save just might be your own.
And don't forget that I will be at Club Red Sports Bar and Lounge tonight. Karaoke, ladies' night, Wednesday night.
All right.
Come support, guys.
Okay.
Asylum is going to be there, ladies.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yes.
I'll be there.
And
I'm going to
he's-
sing a song. You want to hear what song I'm going to sing?
No,
Okay.
that's okay.
Bye-bye, St. Lucia.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye to the folks in TV land. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I'm out.